Hi everyone, welcome to Serenity in Stitches. My name is Christina and I'm happy to be here with you today. I work on projects and for the longest time I'd work on this, that, and kind of hop around because I like the variety. And what I'm learning is if I want to get anything done, I really need to stick to a project and maybe just work on one crochet project and one knitting project at a time. And so I'm trying to do that. It takes a little bit of uh, training on my part to get used to working on just a couple of projects at a time. And you'll see I'm actually working on several projects at a time, but it's something I'm working on this year. Let's see, I do have a couple of finished objects to share and a few of my whips, works in progress. And before we get started, I wanted to give a shout out to Cynthia's Joyful Creations. I have been subscribed to her. And the other day, a video popped up and it had my Serenity in Stitches with Christina on it. And I said, what is that? And I clicked on it and she gave me a shout out, me and many other creators or viewers. And it was so exhilarating for her to acknowledge me. And she made the sweetest what would you call it, like slideshow, and it had pictures of a variety of different episodes I'd done. And Cynthia, I've got to tell you, thank you so much. I really needed that. Isn't it funny how we receive things when we really need them? And I needed that little boost to get myself in front of this camera since it's been, more than a month or about a month, I would say. I'm not sure exactly. But I encourage you to go check out Cynthia's Joyful Creation. I'll link her channel in the description, and I'll also give you a link to the video that she did a shout out for me. So Cynthia, again, thank you so much. And all you viewers out there, please check her out. She deserves lots of love and praise. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is my finished objects. So let's get to that. When did I start this? This is a knitted sweater that I started last year sometime, and I knit it and I finished it, but it was way too big, and I kept thinking, oh, it'll be fine. I'll be able to wear it, but I put it on and it just didn't look right. And I really wanted this ranunculus. That ranunculus is what the sweater is called. I really wanted it to fit right because I love the Coboo olive colored Lionbrand Coboo yarn that's used in this. It's very soft and not too heavy. Plus the ranunculus sweater, I at one point was thinking, thousands of people knit this sweater, thousands and thousands. I don't remember how many, but it was such a popular sweater over the last several years. I thought there's got to be something to it. And it's a lot of fun, and it's fingering weight knit with larger needles. So it gives you this light and airy sweater. I used Lionbrand Coboo, like I said, and I still have to weave in some ends with a larger needle, and it still came out nice and light and airy. You can see the yoke, what the yoke looks like, and then it comes down and you've got the knit through the back loop ribbing, and then for the sleeves I did the long sleeve version, even though they're 3/4 length sleeves, and then I just ended it with some additional ribbing. And I really like it. One thing though, I just did a regular bind off on the bottom, and it's a little tight. You know how a sweater can just go in a little too much, and so I need to redo the bind off to a stretchy bind off, and I think it'll be perfect at that point. So yeah, there is my ranunculus all done for the second time. And it fits perfect, and I learned a lot of stitches, different increases that you can use. learned about the shaping of the arms and the yoke, and then splitting for the sleeves. So this is my first sweater that I knit twice. But again, it's perfect now and I love it, and I'm looking forward to knitting another one. So that's my Ranunculus. The other finished object I have is my double crochet blanket. And I used Hobbii Amigo. Whoops, sorry. I used Hobbii Amigo for this blanket, and I shared this my last couple of videos, I believe. I don't know if you remember, but I was doing Finish It February for the month of February. And so I pulled out all of my whips and I went through them in some videos and got quite a bit done. And this was one of the objects that I got done during Finish It February. So it's got this beautiful teal colored blue and some white, this bright coral, neon coral color, and a light gray. And I did the light gray and the white next to the bright coral because I didn't want the coral to take over the whole blanket. And the coral has smaller stripes. So I was doing a stripe pattern, and then when I got towards the end, I really didn't want to order more yarn because another thing I'm working on, I should say, is using up my stash, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. So towards the end, the last section, I just did 2 rows of stripes of each color, where the beginning of the blanket are larger stripes, except for the coral was a little. But it flows really well. I don't think anybody would say, oh, but there's small stripes there and larger stripes there. This is a blanket that I'm just going to have on hand to give as a gift, or if it's still here during the holidays, next December, my family, on Christmas Day, we always have a prime rib dinner, and then we do some fun stuff. My sister-in-law is so great. She puts things together. Anyway, it was her idea. We did this for a couple of years now. I think this was the 3rd year we've done it, where you bring a present. Somebody brings a present that's wrapped and wrapped and wrapped numerous times, or in different, boxes, smaller boxes, gets into bigger boxes, etc. And whoever wants to play stands around the table, and you roll the dice. And while you're rolling the dice to get doubles, I believe it is, the person that was ahead of you is trying to unwrap this gift as quickly as possible, because whoever can unwrap it is the one that ends up getting it. And the trick is you have to wear oven mitts on your hands. So that is the funnest game. I would encourage anyone that wants to do a fun game for the holidays to give that a try. I don't know what it would be called. Oven mitt surprise gift. I don't know. Anyway, it's so much fun, and we laugh and laugh, and every year it's so much fun. So I'm already looking forward to it for next season. Anyway, so that's one of the things we do for the holidays, but we also do a white elephant. So anybody in the family that wants to bring a gift and participate in a white elephant, we do a gift exchange doing white elephant. So this might go in the white elephant if I haven't found a home for it before then, which, I got quite a ways to go. So we'll see. But this blanket is so cozy. I've said many times that one of my favorite yarns to make blankets with is Hobbii Amigo. And here's a skein here. They have this in DK, worsted, bulky, and super bulky, I think. Couple different bulkies. I did order a few skeins of the worsted, but I love holding DK double when making the blankets because it just a little bit more lofty, a little bit more squishy. And I suppose if you have a favorite blanket yarn, you could double it, any yarn, and it would make it just that much squishier, and if it's not too thick. So that's why I like the DK, because when I double the worsted yarns for a project, it seems very thick. And, let's see, this is 8mm, 9mm, I don't mind, and 10mm. But when it gets beyond that, it kind of hurts my hands, or I kind of lose, it's just a little bit more difficult for me. So this is the sweet spot, 2 strands of DK with a 10mm hook. So those are my 2 finished objects. And then I did have one more finished object on Super Bowl Sunday, and I don't think I forgot to talk about this in my last video. Marlybird hosted a Game Day 2022 Mystery Challenge, and so you could join to do the knitting or the crochet for Super Bowl. And I saw Lori with Cloudy Nook Crochet, and she was going to do this Game Day mystery make along. And so I messaged her, and we were actually emailing back and forth that day. And it turned out to be a hat. Not something I would probably wear, or even know who to give it to. But I'll put a picture in so you can see what it looks like. And I used all stash yarn. What was in there? There was some Lionbrand Comfy Cotton. There was Knit Picks Brava. There was Karen 1 pound. There was Vanna's Choice, a little bit of everything. And I just put it together, and it came out pretty good. It's just not something that I would probably wear. So I'll probably just, sew in the ends and maybe donate it someplace. So yeah, so that's the other finished object. And that was a crochet hat that I just showed. Let's see here. We all know what's going on in Ukraine, and I probably should have mentioned, in the very beginning that one of the reasons why I haven't been making videos is because, seeing what's going on in Ukraine, it's just difficult to think about. I mean, these are meaningful. Videos are meaningful because it gives me something to do, something to look forward to. I've made some good friends doing the videos, but it was just difficult to even enjoy knitting or crocheting when there's so many people suffering, in Ukraine, and through no fault of their own, Anyway, so I've been thinking about what can I do to support Ukraine. And my husband asked me to make him a beanie, a cap or a hat with the Ukraine colors. So he came in my yarn room, and we picked out a couple colors that he wanted to use, and I made him a hat. So here's the hat. I'll put in a picture. He might be wearing it. I'm not sure. I forgot to look to see. But yep, there he is in the Ukraine spirit hat that I made. Another thing that I've been doing that as a way to honor Ukraine and show support is I have been making these Ukraine hearts. These are crochet hearts, crochet amigurumi hearts, and very easy to do. And you make you make a magic circle and 6 single crochet, then 12 single crochet, then 18 single crochet, and at some point you break the yarn and tie off, and then you do another one, and then you put those 2 together, connect them, and then you start going in rounds and decreasing till you get to the point. And so it's just a simple way for me to provide a little something to folks that are interested in supporting Ukraine. My husband has one hung up in our vehicle. My daughter, I gave her one, and my other daughter and son, I can't remember if I gave them one or if I'm supposed to be giving them one, but anyway, I'll remember that. So yeah, just as something simple to do as a way to show my support for Ukraine. Besides donating to a couple of different organizations, this is something I can do from the heart, literally. So pray for Ukraine, and keep them in your thoughts and prayers. And, you know, I know that here in the United States, we've got people that are suffering, that don't have enough food, don't have shelter. But I do what I can when I can. And this really spoke to my heart. And so that's how I'm honoring Ukraine and trying to support them. I thought about doing some kind of a drive where I would make a bunch of hearts and sell them for like $5 each, maybe on Etsy, and then donate the funds to like UNICEF or Red Cross or, you know, one of the organizations that's working there. If that's something you're interested in, please let me know. Something I've thought about. So yeah, I mean, even if I were to get, you know, $50 and donate it, every little bit helps, I'm sure. So, okay, so next thing that's on my list, and those are crochet hearts, is a crochet blanket I'm working on. And I actually am working on a couple of different crochet blankets. And I usually have a couple of crochet blankets going. One of my favorite things for crafting is crocheting blankets. It's very soothing and you get into a rhythm. You know, I typically just make them up, so I'm not following a pattern typically, unless I'm learning a new skill or something, I might follow a video. But yeah, so what I am making, I've done a couple of hexagon blankets, and one of my whips is a hexagon blanket, but I decided to do an octagon blanket. So here are the squares, or octagons, made up of start in the center, and I just kind of work my way around, and I've gotten into a really good groove as far as, you know, start this square, then start this polygon, I believe it is, start this polygon and then add that, and then, you know, kind of work my way around. So my plan is to make a bunch of octagons and then do some kind of a border. And again, I'm using Hobbii Amigo doubled. And here's all the colors, additional colors that you can find in Hobbii Amigo. There's tons of colors. That's one thing I really like about it, is it comes in different weights, and there's beautiful colors, as you can see from the blankets that I'm showing you. And then I wanted to use this white or off-white for some kind of a border. And I didn't want to just do, you know, single crochet two together or, you know, invisible join. I wanted to get kind of creative with the joins in between. So I have a couple of ideas, and we'll see where I'm at next video. Hopefully I'll have something to show you guys. And maybe I'll write it up. I haven't written up a pattern before, so that would be something new. You know, it's not difficult, but, you know, if you're not sure how to, you know, go about putting them together or where to start, it's kind of nice to have a pattern. So we'll see. We'll see about that. One thing I did start to do was I used two skeins, and the light gray, I didn't have a lot of Hobbii Amigo, so I'm using We Love Yarn, which is a DK weight that I also got at Hobbii. So I used two skeins and made up a bunch of squares for the center. And then I am now taking each of those squares and I'm adding polygons in. I started in purple, so I'm trying to make them like a production process where I do all the centers, then I'll do all the purples, then I'll do all the yellows, etc. And I think that just goes a little faster. But I did make two complete ones because I wanted, you know, the prototypes to make sure I knew what colors I wanted to use. And next I'm going to be looking at a border, and if I want to do squares or diamonds to go in between the octagons. So it's a lot of fun. And I've got my crochet stitches book. I've showed it on previously. I can't remember the name of it, but I'll put it in the description. So I do have my crochet book full of stitches, and I'm thinking I could get kind of creative with the border, or we'll see. But it's so much fun creating, as you all probably know, because you're probably all creators as well. The next thing on my list, let's take a look here. Ukraine watch cap. Oh, the Ukraine watch cap that I showed. I used Big Twist Soft was that yellow yarn, and a denim yarn. It's called Denim is like the brand name. Let's see, do I have some here? No, I think it's all in a bag in my room. Anyway, yeah, unknown denim yarn. My husband used to buy me these huge bags of yarn when I first started crocheting and knitting on a full-time basis, I would say. And he would get these huge bags for like 12 bucks. And so I was able to build up my stash. They probably still have them in Clackamas, Oregon, if anybody lives that way. Anyway, yeah. So some of the yarns don't have labels or brands. You can tell they're an older brand or some that I've never heard of, but this one said Denim on it. So denim yarn and Big Twist Soft in a yellow. And these little hearts that I'm making, I'm using, I think the same yellow. Let's see. Yep, here it is. Big Twist Soft and in a yellow. And the blue yarn that I'm using, I think it is Super Saver, Red Heart Super Saver, but I'm not sure because that was one that didn't have a label, but it's a nice vibrant blue. So anyway, let's go on to my next work in progress. And let's see, we did the Octagon Blanket, which was a crochet blanket. My Misurina. So I started this sweater last year. I think it might have been in the summertime, and I had selected some colors, and then I decided to try knitting the Baltion. This is by Caitlin Hunter, just to show you. Here's a picture from the pattern of the sweater. And it's a knitted sweater by Caitlin Hunter called Misurina. And I'll show you a quick picture of the chart so that you can get an idea of the pattern. I don't want to show too much because it's a paid-for pattern. Let's see if there's a better picture. And oh, you know what? I can just insert a picture. But here's another picture in the pattern that shows the Misurina, just to give you an idea. And I can pop a picture in of the Misurina as well. So the colors I'm using are Cloudborn Superwash. It's Merino Superwash Sock Twist in Gray Heather. And I'm using Hawthorne Fingering by Knit Picks in the color Lents, L-E-N-T-S, and it's 357 yards, I believe it is. Oh, that comes out real nice there. Yeah, okay, kind of nice. So here's the color. I only have one skein of that, so I've got it balled up, but just so you can see the beautiful colors. There's a darker blue, a lighter gray, and a lavender in the color scheme, and I thought it would look so good next to the light gray. I think it's going to come out beautifully. So I'll show you what I've gotten done so far. Let's get all these strings and things, all this yarn out of the way. So here's what I've gotten so far. Let's see if you can see the color work that I've started right here. Beautiful pattern there, lace detail, and it's a top-down sweater. So I'll have much more to show you next time I do a video in a few weeks. But I'm loving it. I had a little trouble starting color work when I tried knitting the Baltion, which is another sweater of Caitlin Hunter's, and I'll put a picture here. So I kind of set that aside, and then I decided on different colors, and then I remembered I had the Misurina pattern I had purchased as well. So doing the Misurina, one of the things I wasn't so sure about with the Misurina is it has cables, and it's got lace detail, and it also has color work, charted color work. So I thought, well, I've never done cables, and it would be my first color work to sweater. I did do some color work on a stocking I tried making this last fall. I wasn't happy with it, so I'm going to redo it this coming fall for holidays for next December. So when I picked up the Misurina, and I thought, well, let me give this a try. It is written in a way that that's so simple, and you follow the chart. And when you're twisting stitches to make the cable in the center, in between the color work pieces, it's a real simple knitting before that. So you're not dealing with confusing color work and cables and lace work. It's placed in the pattern. It's a perfect pattern for beginners of color work and cables. I would say that. Very, very simple. Just, you know, follow one stitch at a time. And I've learned some new stitches like the cables, simple cables, but they're cables. And I think it's just going to be beautiful. I'm really looking forward to wearing this summer. It's a nice lightweight. The one that Caitlin Hunter did, I believe her sweater was knit, let's see. She used a linen blend. Oh, look at, here's the nice picture of the sweater that she used. And she used a linen blend yarn. I don't recall the blend, but I have the whole thing here. You'd think I'd be able to find it. Here we go, materials. Okay, yarn, she used Cozy Posy yarn, feather, single ply fingering. Oh, it's a merino linen, and it's not even that much linen. 90% superwash merino, 10% linen. Okay, I was thinking it was more linen, but it's got a hint of linen in it. And it's fingering weight, and it's I'm knitting this on, let's see, she recommended US 2 for the ribbing and US 4 needles for the as the main needle. I actually am using US 4 for the ribbing and the lace work, and then I switched to a US 6 for the color work. And it's working out perfectly, I think. So far, so good. So that's my Misurina. And then another thing I'm working on, which I started last fall, I had brought it out for Finish It February. And this is my Joji Locatelli Julie's wrap. And you may remember that I knit this wrap for her knit along last fall. And it's an ocean of garter stitch. And then there's a beautiful ribbing around the whole thing. You pick up stitches around the whole piece of work. And when I was doing it for the knit along, I really wanted to get it done before the knit along was over. It has some little bobbles after you're finished with the ribbing. And I really wasn't feeling the bobbles, so which was good because I was running out of time. And I kind of just made up my own pattern for, I mean, I followed the pattern, but not exactly, because there's a backwards yarn over, other things in the ribbing that I didn't end up doing because it was, you know, I thought this is going to take me too long. I want to get it done in time. And I finished about half the length of what the pattern called of ribbing around it. And I thought this looks good. And so I called it good. But after that, the ribbing, it just wasn't looking right. And so I kind of put it away. So for Finish It February, I brought it back out. I tore back to the rectangle. And when I was looking at it, some of my stitches were a little bit inconsistent. Let's see if I can find an example. I think you can see here where some of the stitches just aren't as consistent. There's some little, not really holes, but it's just not as tight as other ribbing. Like that right there looks pretty good, but then a little bit inconsistent. Like you can see right here, there's like some bigger stitches. I don't know. Anyway, all that to say, I decided since I was redoing the border, I would fix that one portion that was really inconsistent, and some of the stitches were bigger than others. So I actually cut my knitting and of course watched some videos on how to cut your knitting without unraveling the whole thing. And I thought, you know, I want to learn how to do this anyway, because I want to steek a cardigan, which is knitting round and round and round, and then when you're ready, you cut, you secure the area on each side where you're going to cut the knitting, then you cut it. And so I thought this would be good practice. So I did, and it worked out perfectly. And I'm going to put a picture of, I believe I have a picture of the, when I cut the knitting, and it may show where the inconsistent stitches were, where it just didn't look right. And then, and again, the picture will show where I cut my knitting. And then from there, I was able to just re-knit that whole section. So I'm taking the time to do it right, fix some errors, and I am just starting on the border. And now that I've got plenty of time and I'm looking at the border, I'm looking at the instructions, I'm learning how to do a backwards yarn over and anything else she has in her ribbing instructions, because it's not just straight ribbing. I think it's going to come out great. And I'll have a beautiful wrap to hopefully use this summer. You know, go to a picnic, you're there for a while, your shoulders get a little chilly, pull out my wrap. That's my vision for this wrap. So let's see if I have anything else that I can think of. I think that's all I have to share with you. Actually, one more thing. Let me tell you about my other crochet blanket. I am doing, the one I showed earlier is an Octagon blanket. And this one is a Hexagon blanket. And I'll put a picture in. I laid out all my hexagons to determine, you know, how I wanted to place the colors, so I knew how many hexagons to make. And this is a pattern. I don't really use a pattern now, but when I started, I was using the Hubby Hexagon pattern, and I'll put that posted up here, or picture in now. And I will insert who the designer is for that pattern, because it's a great pattern. And like I said, I don't need the pattern now that I've made like 100 of these. But some of this is Hobbii Amigo, like this mustard color. This lighter green is Hobbii Amigo. I've got some darker green. This is Lionbrand jeans. And if you've been watching my videos, you'll have seen this before. This is something I've been working on for quite a while. But just to show you the colors again, this is a Lionbrand jeans called Corduroy. This light gray is Hobbii Amigo. I've got this black dark gray is called Stovepipe in Lionbrand jeans. I've got a darker, or a medium gray, I would say, in Hobbii Amigo. So it's all Hobbii Amigo and Lionbrand jeans yarn. And yeah, so I am coming along quite well with this. Again, I've laid out so I know exactly how many hexagons I'm going to need to complete it. And then doing the border. Rachel Carmona, she has an excellent video, and actually it's about 3 videos that walks you through doing the join of hexagons, join as you go. And so you're basically going around one hexagon and then you come back down. and join the next one and then go to the next one. And anyway, it's pretty cool. And it, you know, it took me a bit. I had to watch it over and over. The last blanket I made, which was a baby blanket, and I used Hobbii Amigo, and I used some white off-white yarn around the edges, and then the Rachel Carmona Join As You Go to join them together. And I know that it's super simple to join two squares or two hexagons together. You can use a whip stitch or single crochet or slip stitches. There's lots of simple ways. I just like to challenge myself, and so doing the Join As You Go is pretty cool. And I'll put a picture up if I can find one of the Join As You Go to get an idea. And of course in the show notes will be the link to Rachel's video. Okay, so that I think was it. In my whips, I do have a couple of cardigans I started last fall, and I haven't really put too much work into them. With Finish It February, it really got me taking a look at everything I had started and what I really wanted to focus on. And I was watching Knit a Rainbow videos, and recently she was talking about do what makes you happy, knit or crochet what, I think she's a knitter, but knit or crochet what brings you joy, what makes you happy, instead of what I feel like obligated to do. I started this, I need to finish it. So that's what I've been doing. And part of that joy is taking a look at the projects I didn't finish, and, you know, how much time can I put into this to do it right? Do it right. And if I'd have done it right the first time, I wouldn't be here redoing it. For example, Julie's wrap. Anyway, so all that to say, check out Knit a Rainbow too, because she's awesome. She gives some wonderful tips, and she's a knitter. And I think they're doing a knit along currently, or just finishing one for a shawl. And what other makers on YouTube creators or content creators have I been watching lately? Angela from My Precious Yarnery. I've enjoyed her. Cynthia's Joyful Creations, who gave me a shout out. And I got to tell you, I have been on cloud 9 since, because it just feels good to be acknowledged, I guess, you know. And with all that's going on in the world, I needed that little something to make me smile. I have been enjoying Linda Simpson. Linda Simpson, that woman, check her out if you haven't. I can't imagine you having not heard of Linda Simpson. But just in case, I'll put, I'm going to put her link, because she has been so wonderful about helping smaller channels like myself to grow. And it's really in line with what Cynthia's Joyful Creations, what Cynthia's doing. She encourages people to go check out other people, and not necessarily people that are her patrons on Patreon, but anyone that needs help reaching a milestone. Like my milestone that I'm really trying to reach now is 500 subscribers, and I'm almost at 400. So we're kind of in the last push. So definitely like and subscribe if you haven't already. Because at 500 subscribers, you get a community tab. And then instead of, you know, when I'm not able to make full videos, I can post bits of information, or check out this, you know, make along, or look what I did real quick, you know. And I'm sure there's other things as your channel grows that I've, you know, heard of that I just haven't seen for myself yet, because I'm little still. But anyway, so yeah, check out Linda Simpson. Thank you so much, Linda, for your support. My channel has been growing, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, with that, I'm going to end, because I just heard somebody come through the front door, and I think it's my daughter and one of our pups, one of our beautiful dogs. So have a wonderful rest of the week, and I will hopefully see you soon. Thank you. Bye.